The Forbidden Era story, Chicago, 1922. The city pulsed with jazz and desperation. Prohibition had turned ordinary men into criminals and criminals into kings. Tommy the Snake Rossi was one who saw the opportunity. He was 25 with sharp eyes and a revolver always hidden under his coat. Raised in Little Italy, he had seen his father die in a liquor-related shootout. Now he worked for Vito, the Bull Morty, one of the smaller bosses in the Italian mafia. Tommy started as a runner, delivering illegal barrels of whiskey to speakeasies around the city. One of his favorites was the Whispering Crow, a basement bar under an unassuming laundromat on Michigan Avenue. To get in, you knocked 3 times on a door marked "Staff Only" and whispered the password. Moonshine midnight. Inside, the air was thick with cigar smoke and the sound of roulette wheels. Women in pearl necklaces laughed loudly, while men in fedora hats bet fortunes on blackjack and poker. Illegal gambling was the heart of the operation. A single night could generate thousands of dollars, of which Vito took a fat share. But tension was always present. One evening, while Tommy poured bootlegged gin for a group of businessmen, he heard shots outside. Rivals from the Irish mafia, led by Sean the Knife O'Brien, had gotten wind of the bar. The door flew open and chaos erupted. Tommy ducked behind the bar, drew his revolver and fired back. 2 Irishmen fell, but a bullet hit his shoulder. Vito came rushing from the back room, Thompson's submachine gun in hand. "Protect the booze," he roared. The shootout lasted minutes that felt like hours. When the dust settled, 5 bodies lay on the floor and the Whispering Crow was a bloody mess. Tommy had killed his first man that night and Vito patted him on the back. "You're one of us now, kid." After the incident, Tommy rose in the ranks. Vito gave him responsibility for a new speakeasy, the Shadow Den, hidden in a basement under church, ironically. Here not only alcohol flowed, illegal gambling tournaments attracted the city's richest. Poker tables with high stakes, dice games, and even a secret boxing ring where men fought for money. Tommy quickly learned to cheat, a hidden deck in his sleeve, rigged roulette wheels, but with success came enemies. O'Brien wanted revenge and sent spies to infiltrate. One night Tommy arranged a big gambling evening. The stakes were sky-high, diamonds, cash, even cars. Among the guests was a mysterious woman, Elena, with red lips and a pistol in her purse. She was O'Brien's sister, but Tommy didn't know. They flirted over a glass of illegal champagne, and she whispered secrets in his ear. "I know where Vito hides his liquor stash," she said. Tommy, drunk on both wine and lust, followed her to a back room. There O'Brien's men waited. A knife stabbed at him, but Tommy was faster. He shot Elena in the leg and fled, but the betrayal burned. The conflict escalated. Vito ordered a revenge raid on O'Brien's gambling den, the Emerald Pit, a basement full of green felt tables and Irish whiskey. Tommy led the assault. They sneaked in through a side door, disguised as guests. Inside, the atmosphere was electric. Men shouted bets, women danced to gramophone music. Suddenly, Tommy drew his pistol. "This is for the Crow." Shots echoed, tables overturned, cards flew in the air. O'Brien himself stood at a poker table, cigar in mouth. He fired back, hitting Vito's right-hand man. Tommy aimed and pulled the trigger. O'Brien fell, blood spurting from his chest. But victory was costly. Half of Vito's men died, and the police, corrupt but alert, began hunting them. With O'Brien gone, Tommy took more power. He expanded to new speakeasies like the Midnight Vault, where murders were planned as often as drinks were mixed. A rival, Giovanni the Ghost Lombardi, challenged him. Lombardi controlled the illegal gambling in South Chicago, with rigged games that ruined families. Tommy got a tip about a big shipment, a truck full of Canadian whiskey. He hijacked it, but it was a trap. In the truck waited Lombardi's men with machine guns. The street shootout was brutal. Cars exploded, civilians fled screaming. Tommy barely survived, with gunshot wounds and a dead friend beside him. Revenge came swiftly. Tommy infiltrated Lombardi's inner circle by bribing a bartender in his main bar, the Blood Diamond. There, in a smoke-filled basement, the most dangerous games were played. Russian roulette for debts, knife duels for honor. Tommy challenged Lombardi personally. "Let's play for everything," he said. They sat at a table, revolver between them. Each spin was tension, click, click, click. On the 4th spin, Lombardi pulled against himself. Bang, head exploded. Tommy won, but the darkness had consumed him. He had killed too many, lost his soul. The conflict culminated in a major mafia war. Vito died in a bomb attack, and Tommy took over. He met the last rivals in an abandoned warehouse, filled with liquor barrels and gambling tables. Shots, knives, fire, everything mixed in an orgy of violence. Tommy stood victorious, bloody but alive, while bodies lay scattered. Epilogue: years after Prohibition, when the law was repealed in 1933, everything changed. Tommy Rossi became a legend, but the victory was hollow. He ruled an empire built on blood, but darkness followed him. Many of his friends were dead, and he lived in paranoia. Chicago remembered him as a winner, but in his eyes reflected only emptiness. The mafia era continued, but with new faces. Tommy died alone, murdered by a young upstart, and the cycle repeated. In the shadows of the Forbidden Era, no one truly won.